at the Palace of Penn High School, where tonight the Kingsmen open their home basketball season against the longtime rival, the Concord Minutemen, on the 46 game of the week. And how you doing, everybody? Between the Hall of Famers, Bo Hunt and Bill Beck, it's Chuck Freeby. Bob Nagel heard it's always sunny in Philadelphia, so he went there, and we hope he'll make it back someday. Meanwhile, let's get ready for basketball tonight. Concord comes in with a record of 1-2, Bo. A very young and inexperienced team for Steve Austin this year, but they do have some weapons, especially Michael Johnson.
Yeah, Michael Johnson's one heck of a ball player, but the thing is they need to find some supporting cast around him. And this is a good opportunity against a good Penn team to come in here, find those guys, and see who they can get to support Michael Johnson.
Well, you said it's a good Penn team, and it certainly looked that way Tuesday night in the opener against Clay. Kingsman won it by 10, but really the difference in the game was the big fellas down in the paint.
They got some big guys inside. They like to go down to them. They had close to 50 points in the paint the last game, and expect them to do the same thing tonight. Go down, feed them inside, kick it back out if necessary, but they like the big guys inside to get the job done.
Hall of Fame sports writer Bill Beck patrolling the sidelines for us tonight. And Bill, both of these teams are loaded with juniors this year, but the difference is Penn's juniors have a lot more experience.
Yeah, the Kingsmen really do have a full load of experience, and we use the analogy Friday nighters in football. We're going to have a lot of new second gamers in basketball as opposed to playing in that first game on JV. You're going to have to rely on the kids who do have some experience. They're going to have to slow this game down, kind of keep the pace down, and keep Penn away from the basket.
It's the 80th renewal of one of Penn's oldest rivals, Concord and Penn, and we've got the Jordan Automotive keys to win next on the 46 game of the week.
This is the WHME TV 46 High School Game of the Week, brought to you by Indiana Criminal Justice, IU South Bend, TCU, Jordan Automotive Group, Bethel College Admissions, Electrical Workers Local 153, Crown Trophy, JV Macri Orthodontics, Bill's Heating, Imagineering Finishing Technologies, Ruoff Home Mortgage, and the IHSAA.
This edition of the TV 46 High School Basketball Game of the Week is brought to you in part by the Jordan Auto Group. Simple, easy, stress-free. Welcome back to the Palace on the campus of Penn High School as we get ready for high school basketball. Penn and Concord in the 80th renewal of this rivalry. And it's time now to look at our keys to win, brought to you by the Jordan Automotive Group. You heard us talk about them in the open, but it bears mentioning that Michael Johnson is the leading scorer on this Concord team. The 6'4 junior averages nearly 21 points and 6 rebounds a game. One of the area's more unheralded players, mainly because he's coming back from a broken leg last year. He'll need some help, though, as Drew McDougal is going to try to answer the call for that tonight. 6'1 junior averaging 6 points and 2 rebounds a game, and he leads this team with 5 3-point shots. The keys to win for the Minutemen.
The keys tonight for Concord, they need to be iron workers, and that means they need to get rebounds. They got to put bodies on those big hosses inside from Penn. They need to find the groove, and that's not this Penn band playing. They need to find their groove as a team and help out MJ. They need to get some guys to step up, some guys to come in there, get some guys off the bench as well to score some points to help him out. Steve Austin in his 33rd year at Concord.
It's going to be a tough one for us. The biggest thing I think is going to be the rebounding. Penn is just so big, and they do such a great job of attacking the boards on both ends that if you fall asleep for 1 second, okay, it's going to hurt you. So we really stress that to our kids this week.
The posts do a great job for Penn. Technically, Noah Applegate is a wing, but he'll go everywhere from the bucket to outside the three-point arc. He did that Tuesday night against Clay and racked up 28 points in the season opener, and he is starting to get some Division I looks, and he gets plenty of help on the inside. But one of the guys that'll do it is Keegan Hoskins, a 6'5 junior averaging 12 points and 12 rebounds a game. He's a good passer too, Bo. He had 4 assists against Clay.
The keys to win tonight for the Penn Kingsmen. They need to win that rebound battle. They have the advantage in size with the height and the bodies. and they need to win that battle. They need to pick up the tempo. One of the things they want to do is kind of run with it. They want to get the numbers, 3-on-2s, 2-on-1s, and get up the court. If they don't, they need to execute patiently in their half-court offense, make the right pass, and get to the guy that's open. Al Rhodes in his 37th year overall.
Well, you know, I think that we've only played one game, so that puts us a little bit behind Concord. But they've had a rough start, too, in terms of, you know, some areas. So I know Steve will have them ready to go tonight. They probably want a slow-paced game, and we probably want a fast-paced game.
Well, we don't need to know if you're going to be our girl, but we do need to know that you're going to be back after this for the opening tip-off and the starting lineups. It's Penn and Concord next on 46. And this edition of the TV46 High School Basketball Game of the Week is brought to you by the Indiana Criminal Justice Institute. We say, whoa, don't text and drive. Concord and Penn getting ready to match up here at the Palace. And let's look at the starting lineups for tonight's game. First of all, for the visitors from Concord, who come in with a record of 1-2. The backcourt with exchange student Gabe Andreini from Italy, Grant Lucas, and then three up front, Matt Auger, Drew McDougall, and the aforementioned Michael Johnson. As the Minutemen gather around, Penn will have its starting lineup announced, and let's check it out and see what Al Rhodes has come up with tonight. He'll start Drew Lutz and Bo Ludwig at the guards. Ludwig was a bit of a question mark after getting 3 staples in his head after a blow to the head on Tuesday night. Noah Applegate is the wing with Noah Kraftwall and Keegan Hoskins at the post positions. And these two head coaches, Bo, have gotten together a time or two over the course of their careers. In fact, this will be the 31st time they've met, with Al Rhodes leading that rivalry 1911.
Yeah, you got two of the most respected coaches in the area. 31st time overall that these two teams, guys and me. Al's leading the series 19-11 in the series. You know, Al's been around since I was in high school. He was down at Warsaw, and he actually coached against me when I was over at Bremen.
Well, and he remembers the playing days even with him and Steve Austin being a rivalry.
Well, you know, clear back in high school, we would play against each other in the summertime and out at a place called Newcomers, and we always had a great time. We've been friends for a long time. He's an excellent coach. I always look forward to the challenge to see what he's going to come up with to help his team be successful.
There you see, Penn leads the all-time series 52-27. They first met back in 1958, the first year that Penn had varsity basketball. And last year, Penn won it at McEwen Gym by a count of 47-38. The Kingsmen in the home whites tonight. Concord in the road greens. Tim Mills, Tim Holmes, and Kim Curry are officials. And we're ready for high school basketball, and glad you've joined us on TV 46. Good crowd on hand on a wintry Friday night in northern Indiana. And the tip controlled by the Kingsmen, 1-0 on the year. They beat Clay on Tuesday night, 70-60. That's Noah Applegate throwing it cross court. Down in the corner, Ludwig's three is off the mark of the rebound to Andreini and Concord. The Minutemen at 1-2. They beat Prairie Heights in overtime in the opener. They've lost to Michigan City and St. Joe since, and they can't afford sloppy turnovers like that because Penn will get out in transition and get the bucket and the bump with Noah Kraftwall.
What a great job of, first off, causing the turnover, and the second thing is that quick tempo we talked about, getting up the floor, finding that open man, going to the hoop strong, and getting the bucket and the foul.
The foul on McDougall, that's his first. And Kraftwall can't get that one to go. And the rebound comes to the Minutemen of Concord. Gabriel Andreini gets it inside, but the pass stolen away by the sagging Penn defense. Drew Lutz in transition, goes the distance and draws the foul.
Yeah, if that's on McDougall, that's his second. Looks like they are calling that on McDougall.
So Steve Austin will quickly go to his bench and send in Ethan Kane, and that's not going to make the Colonel's hair any less gray over there on the sidelines. As Lutz will go to the foul line. He was 0 for 1 from the stripe on Tuesday night against Clay, but he hits the first one here.
Again, Penn getting up the floor, really pushing that tempo and really going to the hoop. Not something you normally see out of an Al Rhodes team.
Lutz, part of a long legacy of Penn basketball players in his family. His brother Ryan over at Bethel now. His sister Ashley also played at Bethel. It's 4-0 Kingsman. Concord still trying to get off its first shot. Ethan Kane on the outside, the quarterback from the football team. Now Andreini, the exchange student from Milan, Italy. We're just outside of Milan, as he told me in pregame. Grant Lucas couldn't find an opening. Now Michael Johnson cut off on the baseline. They tried to feed Johnson down low, and good over pursuit by the Penn defense as Hoskins got in there to knock the pass away.
That was a good job by Hoskins to really play over the top of Johnson. It looks like that might be what they're going to try to do, is play over the top. You can see him there, and then they had backside help ready to come over in case he got the ball inside.
Andreini looking to trigger the inbound, better hurry, and almost had a 5-second call. Kane guarded by Applegate, a bit of a mismatch in size there. And Kane, stopping his dribble, finally finds Andreini for the pull-up three. The back iron unkind. Penn will get out and run again. Applegate in transition draws the foul. It's on Andreini, his first, and Noah Applegate, who went 5 for 5 from the line on Tuesday night against Clay, will go to the stripe here.
Some drivers think comfort is found in leather seats or dual climate control, but 40 million Americans, motorists, comfort is knowing they have a State Farm agent who's always there, providing personal service at a competitive rate. So talk to State Farm agent Rachel Wayne in Elkhart. Rachel Wayne wishes all her clients a blessed Christmas and a happy New Year.
Applegate drains the 2 free throws, 6-0 Kingsman. Lob pass intercepted, third turnover by Concord. Nice pass underneath. Lutz tries to save it to Ludwig. Applegate triggers the 3. It won't go, and a good rebound by Michael Johnson. Concord has been aggressive on the boards here in the early going, but they have not been able to get the offense on track. Matt Auger's pass knocked away. The long arms of the Penn defenders really thwarting Concord in the early going. Johnson over the top misses, and the rebound comes to Penn. Applegate in transition, gave it up nicely for 2. Timeout by Steve Austin, the Minutemen, as Penn gets the basket from Keegan Hoskins and takes an 8-0 lead on Concord on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you by IU South Bend, fulfilling the promise. And Penn fulfilling the promise early, looking impressive, up to 8-0.
Yeah, you know, we talked about, you know, them wanting to really pick up the tempo. They certainly have. They're getting in, they're going. They're trying to get up. They're trying to get those numbers, and they've had so far. They've had the numbers as they're getting down the floor, and they're taking it right to the hoop and getting Concord in foul trouble early.
And now full court pressure by the Kingsmen. Concord able to get the ball inbound, but still struggling to go across the stripe. Kane working on Applegate. Now Andreini got a little bit of a breather, up and under move, but he came up short, got his own rebound. I like the move. Auger had it knocked away, ball knocked out of bounds by Penn.
Hey, we'd like to thank Arby's on Bittersweet. They fed our crew tonight. What a great job they did, and they believe in great taste and freshly sliced meat every day. It matters how you slice it. Arby's on Bittersweet invites you to come in and taste it for yourself.
Chilly start in the early going for Concord. Grant Lucas is a guy they'd like to get on track from 3, but Penn covered him up quickly. Oh, nice entry pass to Ethan Kane for 2. Good feed by Lucas. Applegate lobbed it over the top, knocked away by Johnson, but Auger couldn't save it. 8-2 Penn in the early going.
Yeah, we were wondering if Concord was going to play a 2-3 zone and really pack it down inside with the big guys. Looks like they are in the zone.
But Applegate found a seam in that zone, as he is prone to do, and Noah Applegate with 4 here in the early going. Steve Austin had an interesting comment watching Penn play Clay on Tuesday night. He said, Penn works so hard on defense, and they make you work harder, as Kane was hoping to get the alley-oop tap in, but couldn't put it in. And he said, especially this Penn team with their length, really causes problems.
Yeah, and you can see them. And I saw them during warm-ups, and they were working a lot of defense during their warm-ups. A lot of times you get out here pregame and you're working on your shot, your layups, and your passes and stuff, but they're working on defensive stuff. And you notice almost every time they come down, their arms are up and they really take up space.
Ludwig with good penetration. Concord really trying to pack in that 2-3 zone. But the Penn posts have proven to be good passers here early in the season. Let's see if Applegate lives up to that here. He finds Lutz, kicks it outside, and a good move to the basket. Strong move by Kraftwall.
Drew Lutz, the assist.
12-2 in favor of the Kingsmen. I think I might have said Kraftwall. That was Ludwig that time on the break to the basket. Andreini looking for somebody to throw it to. Lob pass to Johnson for 2. Well done. Well executed by the Minutemen.
Oh, good job. Get a little offensive half court down there. And with that last bucket from Ludwig, the starting lineup for Penn has each scored in this game now.
Nice strong move underneath, but an over the back call goes against Penn. This will be on Noah Kraftwall. Kraftwall moves well around the hoop. Didn't take shot outside 5 feet the other night against South Bend Clay. There you see Grant Magnuson, the big offensive lineman, coming in to play at the forward spot. 6'4" senior. Steve Austin says Magnuson, when he was in the 8th grade, was the point guard on the team.
He doesn't take up much space out there, though.
Since grown out of the role. Applegate in transition for 2.
Noah Applegate.
14-4, and Penn with its biggest lead. Good ball movement there by Concord. Johnson working on the baseline. Travels. And that's 5 turnovers at least for Concord here in the early going.
Turnovers and fouls. That'll get you down 14-4 early.
Well, turnovers have been a problem for Concord here in the early part of the season. They've been making 16 a game, and that goes back to Bill's point in the open about there's a big difference when you're playing on Friday night at 6:15 as opposed to 8 p.m. Ludwig for 3 is off the mark, but the rebound to Penn, and putting it up and in is Hoskins. He made a living doing that on Tuesday night against Clay with a double-double, including 5 offensive rebounds against the Colonials. Luke Shoemaker in the game, calls out the plays for Concord. Kane right in front of the Penn student body. Pull-up jumper. The bank not open, but Shoemaker got the rebound, and the long 3 couldn't bank in that time for Concord, and here comes Kingsman the other way. Again, transition, but this time Hoskins traveled. Got too far underneath the basket.
Lost the track of where he was. Got a little bit too far down the court there. Good pass, good look, and everything.
Penn will go to its bench, bring in Luke Carlton, 5'11" junior. We mentioned the Lutz family earlier. We might as well mention the Carlton family, too. Bunch of basketball players.
Hey, Bill's Heating has been keeping families and businesses comfortable since 1951. You can relax knowing your family's comfort is their top priority. And Bill's Heating was voted best of the best by readers of the Goshen News. Call Bill's Heating at 574-533-2079.
Hoskins with a sweet little turnaround jumper there. He's got 6. Penn threatening to make this a blowout here in the first quarter. It's 18-4. That pass hit Applegate right in the hands. Problem is he didn't see it because it wasn't from his teammate. Great expression there from Noah. It's like, why was I supposed to catch that? A minute left, first period. Lucase's pass knocked out of bounds, and Concord retains possession.
You know, Concord's in that stage of trying to find their players to go with Johnson and trying to find their chemistry as well. Their starting lineup, you know, Steve's going to switch them lineup up, get some other guys in there, give some other guys a chance, and try to find that chemistry here early in the season.
It's a young team. They have 4 or 5 sophomores dressing on the varsity roster. Shoemaker up top with the left-hand dribble. Now Grant Magnuson.
Boy, he handles that ball well, doesn't he? It's like he was a point guard at one time.
Kane now trying to work around Applegate. And again, the luxury of being able to put a 6'6" guy like Applegate up at the top of the point to defend. But there's the open man underneath. Kane couldn't put it in. Oh, did Shoemaker find him with a pretty pass? Lutz comes the other way. Applegate. And Penn will try to get off the last shot. Carlton for 3. It won't go. But that's about all that went wrong for Penn in the first quarter. Al Rhodes' team, very impressive here in the early going. They open up an 18-4 lead on Concord after 1 off 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you in part by Bethel College Admissions, equipping for lifelong service. We have not had a Bills Heating sideline report. Let's rectify that. For Bills Heating, here's Bill Beck.
Hey, Chuck, you take a look at that first quarter, and we talked about this off the air before we started tonight, but Penn is so good with their big guys. They call them posts and wings. They don't use the phrase forwards and centers in the Penn program with Al Rhodes, but their wings are such a tough matchup for this Concord team, offensively and defensively. Concord has almost as many shots taken in the first quarter as they have turnovers, and right now, Penn has everything going its way.
Concord will go back to its bench and bring in Jacob Yoder. As you take a look at Al Rhodes, what a competitor this guy is, the Indiana Basketball Hall of Famer, looking for his 583rd career win tonight. Over 400 of those came when he was the coach at Warsaw High School. Concord with another turnover to start the quarter.
Indiana Criminal Justice Institute reminds you to drive sober or get pulled over. That's Indiana Criminal Justice Institute.
Luke Carlton finds Drew Lutz up top. Penn, we mentioned the fact that they are young but very experienced, as they'll get called for the foul here, and it'll go against Ludwig. And you look up and down this Penn roster, and it is loaded with juniors. Al Rhodes has to feel really good about what he's got set up for the next couple of years.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you got only one senior on this roster. The rest are juniors or sophomores, and, you know, a little freshman in there getting a little playing time as well. But, you know, they've been playing. This is their second year starting, too, for most of these guys as well.
Good drive that time by Carter Neveraski, but he throws up a bit of a wild shot, and Penn comes down the other way. Interesting, Concord looks like it's switched to a man-to-man here. And that, of course, lets a guy get loose underneath. And it's Noah Kraftwall muscling it in, and again, the Penn big fellas getting the job done down in the paint. 3 rattles home for Concord, though. Grant Lucas with just his second three-pointer of the year, and that's a shot that Steve Austin wants him to take more.
Yeah, I mean, when you're open at that top of the key and that's a shot that your coach wants you to, you got to be able to knock that down and shoot it without even thinking about it and not hesitating as well.
Kraftwall in the paint again, and all 3 of the bigs in the Penn starting lineup have 6 points. That's 6 each, not 6 combined.
A typical Al Rhodes team, you know, you got your starting lineup, each guy has scored, your 3 bigs each have 6 points apiece. Not a lot of individual play out there, it's a team effort.
Ogier was able to drive inside and draw the contact. But to amplify the point, here's what Penn was able to do against Clay the other night. They scored 46 points in the paint in that season opening win. And that's just from the field. I think the three bigs combined for something like 58. They were very, very good.
That's definitely getting it inside and getting the good shot and working for it. And it's that body length, that arm span, finding the right spot, being in the right position as well, and knowing where the other kids and having your spacing. That's a big thing as well.
Inbounds to Yoder. Now Lucas. Shoemaker. Ogier, good spin move with the left hand he finishes. Matt Ogier, the 6'2 senior, gets his first basket of the night and cuts the deficit to 13. Lutz out top. If there was a criticism of Penn from the game the other night, it was that they would get a little bit lackadaisical with the lead. Lutz misfires on the three and a good hustle rebound. Lutz will try again. And that might be a fly in the ointment for Penn too. They have not had a lot of success from three-point range in the early going. Concord misfires as well, but Jacob Yoder kicks that rebound outside. And finally, Applegate collects the loose change.
Yeah, you talk about that three-point range, you know, working on that shot, and that's something they get to tournament play. They're going to run into some teams that have the same size as they do, and they're going to have to rely on some three-pointers being knocked down the stretch.
Neveraski called for the trip. That allows Michael Johnson to come back in the lineup for Concord. And Drew Lutz signals the play. Man to man, let's see if they try to move things around up top, and a clear out foul called underneath by Kim Curry. I believe this is going to go against Hoskins, and if so, that's his second. So two of the Penn bigs, Krathwall and Hoskins, each with 2 fouls, and Al Rhodes will go to his bench. And they'll bring in Drew Schneider.
Drew Schneider.
Schneider, a linebacker from the football team, and Al says he brings that kind of mentality to the team.
Yeah, it's good to have some guys like that to bring that mental toughness, and there might not be the biggest guy on the team, but they bring that toughness there.
Yoder blocked by Applegate but fouled, and the question is, will they call it on Applegate or Schneider?
Looks like they are calling on Applegate. They sure are.
That's his first, and that'll send Concord to the line for free throws, sponsored by your Edward Jones Elkhart Area Advisors. As you get another look at the Bethel College replay, Yoder had position inside, and Applegate thought he got all ball, but he did not.
Imagineering Finishing Technologies is a world-class metal finishing company specializing in plating, coating, testing, and consulting services. 58 years as a knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. Reach us at info@iftworldwide.com.
Jacob Yoder lives up to his reputation. 50% free throw shooter, hits 1 out of 2 from the stripe. Ogier comes back in to take his place. Did they wave off the free throw?
Looks like they
Looked like they did.
Yeah.
So there was a lane violation on the free throw. And the lead stays at 22-9. Penn moving the ball around the outside. Ludwig with a beautiful spin move for 2.
Bo Ludwig, the spin.
4 points for Ludwig, and Penn with the lead up to 15. But look at the constant pressure. There's Schneider getting right in the grill of Ogier. Now Shoemaker runs almost into a trap. And then a good strip.
Oh, yeah.
Applegate.
How about them ankles? No.
Timeout, Concord.
Drew Schneider, the steal and assist.
Noah Applegate. With a little apple butter jam right here. Penn in transition, looking really strong, up 26-9 in the second on 46. This edition of the TV46 High School Basketball Game of the Week is brought to you by Ruoff Home Mortgage, a great name to know when you need a mortgage.
I would like to thank Bethel Athletics and head coach Ryan Lightfoot for their sponsorship tonight. The Bethel Pilots invite you to join them for a game this season on the campus of Bethel College in Mishawaka. Bring the entire family for a game and enjoy college basketball at its finest. Visit www.bethelcollege.edu for a complete basketball schedule.
Bethel off to a 10-2 start. Got stunned a little bit by Goshen College on Wednesday night. Andreini kicks it outside. 3 on the way and off the mark by Lucas. Ozier with the rebound pass, no good. Out of bounds to Penn. Well executed by Concord other than the finish in that sequence.
Yeah, they did a great job of getting to the boards there and trying to get the offensive rebound as well. They just could not put it away. And we saw this a little bit last week with the shooting and again in the JV game before this game. Shooting percentages just aren't quite there for this Concord varsity team.
Johnson got the swat on Applegate down there. Now Johnson with Applegate right on him. You know he wants to put it up and in, and instead Applegate draws the charge.
That's a good job of Applegate right there. You saw that as soon as Johnson lowered his shoulders and moved in, you knew that was a charging foul.
He set him up pretty well for that.
Yep.
Steve Austin in the ear of Kim Curry trying to get the call at the other end, but here's the shoulder, boom. And honestly, I'm pretty sure Craig Kaler at Concord wouldn't mind some blocking like that. He got a lot of it from Grant Magnuson, who's sitting down on the Concord bench right now. By the way, congratulations to that Concord football team. They had 4 guys named to the Indiana Football Coaches All-State team. Applegate with a pretty little fadeaway jumper, and he's in double figures now. Applegate has some spring in those feet. Excellent hands to go with it. Johnson inside, that's a nice little move, but that's only the second basket of the game so far for Michael Johnson. It speaks to the problem Concord has, though. They just can't score enough points. He's got 4, they've got 11 as a team.
Yeah, they have to have other guys knock down some shots, whether it's 3-pointers or something on the inside as well. And there's Johnson now with the rebound at the other end.
Lucas, Andreini in the corner. 2 minutes to go, first half. Reminder, coming up at halftime, you'll meet our TCU Student Athletes of the Week. Do we have a double foul?
Yeah, Ozier and I'm not sure if it was Snyder or they were doing some battle inside. Yeah, it was Snyder. Yep. Yeah, here you can see him here. Push. Yeah, they're getting a little pushy back and forth. They called a double foul on both of them.
So the pair of 12s right there.
I don't think he can make his mind up which 12 actually caused it, so he just called it on both 12s.
And it probably wasn't a bad call overall. Here's Johnson working against Applegate. Couldn't get it to go. Magnuson will get the rebound basket. You're not going to go around them to get it.
No, that's a great job of getting position and being right there for the putback.
Applegate's topside triple off the mark, but the rebound up and in for Penn. That was Schneider. The little 5'10" fella going in there and getting the rebound.
Now Schneider's down guarding Magnuson down there.
Schneider's not going to back down from anybody. It's just not allowed in that family. Johnson had Applegate draped all over him, and Applegate called for the foul.
That's Applegate's second now as well.
So Krathwohl, Hoskins, and Applegate, the law firm, all with 2. And Al Rhodes exploring his bench saying, is there a move I should make right here? And it looks like he will. Michael Johnson takes free throws, sponsored by your Edward Jones Elkhart Area Advisors. Johnson is 73% foul shooter. As you see Applegate check out. And it looks like Cameron Koshnick, a 6'6" junior, is checked in. Johnson hits them both.
It's a good opportunity for the Kingsmen to be without their 3 bigs inside, sitting on the bench here for the last minute and a half of the game to get some work and get in the flow of the game.
So the question is, with a 15-point lead, does Al Rhodes take the air out of the ball here?
Yeah, it looks like Al Rhodes is doing that right now and wasting some time.
Well, maybe he wants you to get a live read in.
Yeah, it's true. Teachers Credit Union understands the importance of growing your future. Whether you're growing your family, your square footage, or your business, Teachers Credit Union is here for you with financial solutions that will help you succeed. Visit tcunet.com to start growing your future today. Federally insured by the NCUA, they are an equal housing opportunity. Thanks, Al.
Lutz goes right around Andreini, but missed the left-hand layup, and here's Concord with a chance to whittle a little bit more of the lead. Andreini, a nice feed to Johnson, couldn't finish. Magnuson corrals the carom, and the big fella got the bucket and the bump.
Grant Magnuson.
Here's another look from the Bethel College admissions replay, and that is a strong young man going up there. They'll call the foul on Luke Carlton. That's his second as well.
Yeah, a little bit of foul trouble here for the Penn Kingsmen in the first half. About the only thing, like you said, that they've done wrong here in the first half.
Magnuson's free throw sponsored by Edward Jones Elkhart Area Advisors, and then we've got a push-off foul called against Concord, and that'll send Penn to the line.
Yeah,
So
Jacob Yoder.
Yeah, it'll be Yoder on the foul. And here at the other end, Cameron Koshnick will take his first free throws of the season.
Michael Johnson.
See Michael Johnson check back in. Steve Austin trying to get some offense onto the court here for the final 17 seconds. Koshnick, transfer from Marion, got the first. Did not play in the opener against Clay, so this is the first he's been on the floor this season.
Another tall, lanky junior for this program.
You wonder where all the size is in Northern Indiana. It's apparently Ranger. 32-17, final seconds here of the first half. Kane outside. Concord has to be aware of the clock. Andreini's going to hoist it. It's blocked out front by Ludwig, and the first half comes to an end with Penn on top of Concord by a count of 32-17. And we go downstairs for a Bills Heating sideline report. Bill Beck's got his eyes on Concord head coach Steve Austin.
You kind of whittled it down there toward the end of that last quarter with their bigs on the bench. What do you tell your kids here going into the second half?
We just got to play better. We're being pushed around a little bit. Our kids are backing down. We can't do that. Against teams that are this good, you have to fight back and still do what we're supposed to do, and that's what we're not doing right now.
You saw how unselfish the bigs were the other night against Clay when they were playing. That's a hard combination to stop when they're so good with the basketball.
It is, and our second rotation, which is covered down, are not there, and that's where they're getting it.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
All right, thanks a lot, Bill. A sideline report brought to us by our friends at Bills Heating. Stick around. You'll meet two terrific young people, our TCU Student Athletes of the Week. It has been all Penn in the home opener. The Kingsmen lead Concord 32-17 on the 46 Game of the Week. We are at halftime of tonight's game between Penn and Concord. Time to meet our TCU Student Athletes of the Week. Brought to us by our friends at TCU. Find out how you can become a member. Visit them online at tcunet.com. Two outstanding members of their athletic and academic communities from Concord and Penn tonight joining us. A couple of swimmers. We'll start with Penn. Sydney Aceto, an All-American swimmer here for the Kingsmen and in the top 10% of her class. How do you balance all that work with that has to be done in the pool, and it's very time consuming with the time that it takes to do your classwork?
Usually I just rely on my parents and friends to try to motivate me, and beforehand, like before classes start, before school starts, I know that it's going to be tough, and so I just try to balance my time and create a schedule so that I always know when and what to do.
This swim program has put together an amazing dual meet streak here at Penn. What's it like to be a part of such a successful team?
It's honestly humbling to think that there's so many people before me that came and so many people after me that are just going to continue to contribute to this team. It's a great thing to be part of.
And when you're done with your time here at Penn, we expect you're probably going to swim in college, but I found your academic plans very interesting. You've got quite an eclectic mix of things that you want to do in college.
I think I'm kind of testing the waters to figure out what kind of career I'd want to go into, and so while I'd love to swim in college, I am focusing on academics, but trying to balance swimming and academics in college the way I do now, that's my hope, that's my goal.
And what were the major and minors again that you had?
Environmental science, French, international policy, and hopefully another language.
So what made you choose all that?
Last summer I actually participated in a study abroad program where I went to France, and being part of that kind of international community just makes me want to be part of that again. And then I love science and all the subjects along with that.
That was Sydney Aceto of Penn. She had to get out of here for a choir concert. Over here we've got Garrett Roberts from Concord, another terrific swimmer for that Concord swim team, and also a fine student athlete ranked among the top 20 at Concord in his class. So I'll ask you the same thing I asked Sydney. How do you balance the demands of swimming, which are very time consuming, and the academic demands as well?
Yeah, that's a great question. You really just have to take it day by day. You can't think about at practice what you got, the big tests you have or anything. You just got to take it day by day.
Well, and you're a distance swimmer at Concord. You do a great job with that. How challenging is that from an athletic standpoint? When did you realize that that was a skill you had?
Well, I realized it at a very young age. Swimming's just a really tough sport, both physically and mentally, to just get up in the morning and all the practices, a lot of time in the water. So it's something that I love doing. I love the people in it, and I love the sport.
You're looking forward to going to IUPUI to continue your academic career. Want to study economics, but that's just kind of a starting level. Where do you want to see your career go?
I'd like to go into surgery, into the medical field somewhere eventually, and I'd like to also continue swimming collegiately at the collegiate level.
Now, what gave you the interest to become a surgeon?
Well, I haven't had a lot of doctors in my family, and I had an internship at Goshen Hospital this year, and I really liked it. So.
Well, hopefully I won't need a heart surgeon, but it's nice to know we got somebody studying to be one in Garrett Roberts at Concord, who along with Sydney Aceto are our TCU Student Athletes of the Week. And it's brought to you by our friends at TCU. Find out how you can be a member. Go online at tcu.net.com. We've got halftime highlights and stats coming up next. You're watching the TV46 High School Basketball Game of the Week. This edition of the TV46 High School Basketball Game of the Week is brought to you in part by Crown Trophy. They're nationally known and locally owned. Welcome, everybody, to the Be the Match halftime report. The Penn Kingsmen on top of Concord 32-17 here in the home opener for the Kingsmen at the Palace. Chuck Freeby and Bo Hunt high atop the fray, and a very impressive first half by Penn.
Definitely was. They were big, and they had length inside, and they played defense, which led to their offensive boards.
And you'll get a look at how it got to be this way here at the Palace as Penn used that transition game that Bo just referenced early on. They were moving up and down the floor, working the ball inside. Keegan Hoskins with the bucket there. Noah Applegate, a nice little turnaround jumper there. Concord would try to counter a lob pass to Michael Johnson. He had 6 points in the first half. Penn had too many weapons. Applegate in transition was everywhere. He had 10 points. Look at the pretty spin move here by Bo Ludwig. But the big play of the first half comes from Applegate as he goes in with the power jam. And the Kingsmen lead at 32-17. And Bo, a look at the numbers belies what we're seeing on the scoreboard. Penn dominant in just about every category.
Yeah, they definitely were. There you can see it. You know, field goal percentage, 30% for Concord. They got to shoot better than that, especially against this Penn team. Three-pointers, though, that kind of surprised me. Penn taking 8 three-pointers and not making one of them. We talked about that. If they have a weakness, maybe that's their weakness right now. But they, you know, Concord did out-rebound Penn 16-12. But a lot of Penn's rebounds were the offensive rebounds, putbacks, and getting it up the floor. And turnovers, 10-3, was just astronomical.
You only make 3 turnovers, you shoot 54%, you're going to be in good shape.
Yep.
The Kingsmen are right now. They lead this one 32-17. Thanks for watching the Mary's Match halftime report. We're back with second half play-by-play from the Palace after this on 46. edition of the 46th Game of the Week brought to us by our friends at the Electrical Workers of Local 153. They are making your community brighter. Concord trailing by 15. We go quickly to Bill Beck for a Bills Heating sideline report. Any thoughts from Al Rhodes at the half?
Yeah, I caught Coach Rhodes coming out of the locker room. He talked about he liked the way they played some defense tonight. Two of the things he talked about was defense and keeping the tempo in the fast break coming out early. He liked that. His disappointment in the first half being out rebounded by a smaller Concord team. He says they've got to be better at that at both ends in order to be better the rest of this year.
I knew that would catch his eye. Michael Johnson gets fouled as a good move here by Steve Austin. With Penn players in foul trouble, he attacked the inside right off the inbounds.
Yeah, right at Hoskins, and that picks up his third foul now quickly in the third quarter.
They'll send Michael Johnson to the line. Free throws taken by Johnson for Edward Jones, Elkhart Area Advisors. And Johnson hits his third of the night, 73% foul shooter on the year. He scored 24 for them in their loss to St. Joe last week. He has 8 tonight to lead the Minutemen.
Looks like Coach Rhodes is going to leave Hoskins in there with his third foul here and have him work through it.
Applegate. Now Ludwig. The other night out of that three-man weave, they were looking to go back door, but Concord would not allow that. Applegate tries to go baseline. Got it inside, and a nice little hook shot there by Noah Kraft. He's got 8 tonight. He had 18 on Tuesday against Clay. Oh, good feed inside to Magnuson. He will go up and draw the foul again, and I think that one is going to be on Hoskins as well. That's his 4th.
Yeah, it looks like they are going to go to the bench now, and it is his 4th foul.
Magnuson really presents matchup problems as he goes to the line for the free throw sponsored by your Edward Jones Elkhart Area Advisors. 56% foul shooter on the year, drains that one. And immediately, Drew Schneider's going to have to come in to take the place of Hoskins.
Yeah, Magnuson's a big body inside. He's got height, he's 6'4", and he's quite quick on his feet as well, and handles the ball quite well. And you can see his shot. I mean, that's a nice free throw shot as well.
Nimble big men can really...
They cause a fit inside,
oh,
that's
yeah.
for sure.
And here's a charge on Penn. That'll be on Ludwig. So 3 quick fouls on the Kingsmen. Coming out of the locker room, we haven't even played a minute. Lucas finds Johnson. And Kane was open, but only briefly. Now double teamed. He was lucky to get it away, and here comes Penn in transition. Lutz will lob it for Applegate. Oh, baby.
What a pass by Lutz. And a finish by Applegate.
McDougal for 3 off the mark, and the rebound to Applegate, and he got fouled. Noah Applegate with 2 slams tonight. The first one kind of lost the handle on the way up. And then this one, Lutz just put it on the tee for him. From Bethel College admissions, oh, that was pretty. And a travel called on Ludwig.
Well, that's 4 mistakes now for the Penn Kingsmen. 3 fouls and a turnover this quick. Less than 2 minutes, not even gone here in the third period.
Well, and I think that's the frustration right now for Steve Austin is the door has been left open for his team to come back, and they're not manufacturing enough offense to do that.
Yeah, and a lot of it has to do with this Penn defense as well. We talked about how long they can get and how much space they take up. Again there, Drew Lutz, taking up space and causing the turnover.
And then finishes at the other end with the left hand. Lutz now with 4, and Steve Austin wants to take a timeout. 5:48 to go, third quarter. 38-21, Penn leads it on 46. This edition of the 46th Game of the Week is brought to you in part by Bill's Heating, keeping families and businesses comfortable. since 1951. Well, Bo has made reference to it, as I have throughout the night, the size of the Penn players, and our crack team down in the truck has put together the averages of these two squads. Penn's average player in the lineup tonight, the starting lineup, 6'4". Concord doesn't have anybody who's bigger than 6'4", and this creates a ton of problems.
It does create some problems. Concord out-rebounded Penn in that first half, but when you're looking at length and turnovers and different things like that, you got to look at all those aspects. Concord had 10 turnovers in that first half as well, and already, I think, 3 here in the second half.
And the altered shots and the deflections, they just really wear on a defense. And you can see the building frustration for Concord and just trying to get open looks. Now they found Magnuson down low. He couldn't convert. And the rebound comes to Schneider, but the ball kicked by Kane, and that's a violation.
I don't know if we have a great replay of that last one with Magnuson, but that's an example, and I hate to bring it up because it happened to me a lot, where he got a lot of body on that. And refs look at that and they're like, well, you're a big man. You can take that body. You can take that hit. You know what? That's a foul. You gotta
oh, my
that.
goodness. McDougal just went right through Lutz. And it was not subtle.
Al Rhodes is having a little talk with the ref there as well.
Things got chippy in the JV game, and man, McDougal made no bones about it. He was going right through number 11. It's his third foul. Lutz tries to shuffle it inside, and then the extra pass that time really coming through for Penn as Schneider gets his second basket of the game.
Yeah, they do a great job of passing and really working the ball as well. Here they got press, got the turnover, Applegate.
Had to save it though, and Lutz got bodied by Kane that time. They're all picking on Lutz, who's listed as 6 feet, and let me just say, that's a lie. But watch Lutz here take a real shot from Kane.
Ooh.
Inbounds pass, swatted by Kane, but Schneider will go to the line.
Game's starting to get a little bit more physical out there, which actually might be a good thing for this Concord team too, to get them to where they understand how competitive they have to be in these games. Because they came out a little slow, little kind of, I think, lackadaisically there in the first half.
Schneider misses the first 50% foul shooter. You take a look at Al Rhodes. As long as they're competitive within the context of basketball.
Yes.
A couple of these plays recently have not exactly been basketball plays.
Yeah, I mean, you got to understand that when we talk about the physical and being aggressive, it's within the basketball standards. I mean, you're going to have, you know, some elbows and some things going around and some pushing around, but not flying up towards the head or anything like that.
Now there's the third foul on Krathwall as he brings the hammer down on Michael Johnson. So Johnson will go back to the line, taking free throws, sponsored by your Edward Jones Elkhart Area Advisors.
Ruoff Mortgage is proud of our hometown teams and proud to be a part of the community. When you're ready to buy a home or need to refinance your existing mortgage loan, be sure to stop by one of our offices in Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio, or go online to ruoff.com. That's RUOFF.com.
Evan Chris will get his first action of the night. 6'5" junior. As Johnson drains them both, he's in double figures now with 10. But Concord still down by 18. Lutz handles the ball up top. Applegate tried to go back door. Kane saw that coming. Good pass. Chris couldn't convert, and the rebound comes to Kane. Full court pressure offered by Penn. And a strip, and a beautiful one at that. Schneider comes the other way.
Oh, look.
Applegate bunny hopped in the lane.
Nice no-look pass by Lutz there. No, they call it travel on that. Huh?
Yeah, he got the man up in the air, but stutter steps a little bit in the paint. But take a look at the steal by Schneider. Just quick with the left hand there.
Tightrope the baseline as well.
Johnson's bounce pass too strong for Magnuson that time.
Again, we'd like to thank Arby's on Bittersweet. They fed our crew tonight. They did a great job. And Arby's believes in great taste and freshly sliced meat every day. It matters how you slice it. Arby's on Bittersweet invites you to come in and taste it for yourself.
Good ball movement. Applegate's baseline jumper is pure. And that's 14 now for Noah Applegate. Say the one weakness in Applegate's game might be the ball handling. That's what some of the scouts say as Kane knocks that away. But he has really blossomed here in his junior season, and I think he's ready to have a dynamite year.
Yeah, I think this team is as a whole, not just him, but the complement of players around him, you know, not just with the bigs inside, but with Lutz outside, and you get a Schneider that comes in there and a Ludwig as well, and they got some pieces here, and that's for sure.
Gonna have to develop a little bit of depth, but I think they can do that as the season goes on. Kane finally gets that 3 to go. Ethan Kane now with 5 points tonight. He was only averaging 1 through the first 3 games. Applegate cannot answer, but Chris does with the offensive putback. Excuse me, that's Jeffrey Hemmelgarn. I said Evan Chris. That's Hemmelgarn, the 6'8 sophomore, who puts that in.
Well, you know, your juniors get in foul trouble. You know, they're 6'4", 6'5". Let's just bring in a 6'8 sophomore, you know.
They have all kinds of height on this Penn team, and now the Kingsmen will take a timeout. 2:52 to go here in the third quarter, and Penn on top, 45-26. You're watching high school basketball on TV 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Basketball Game of the Week is brought to you in part by Imagineering Finishing Technologies. IFT, where quality is a way of life. Chuck Freeby, Bo Hunt, Bill Beck back with you here at the Palace as you see Steve Austin taking a seat on the bench. Steve, a standout player at South Bend Adams. He played with the great Jim Webb, who is currently the all-time leading scorer in South Bend, but I have the feeling by the end of the year, a young man at Riley by the name of Demezi Anderson may have that title.
We've seen him for the last couple of years in basketball and football as well. He got an over and back call there, got a little ahead of themselves. But phenomenal athlete, and we're going to definitely see Demezi here later in the year.
We'll see him in January when Riley takes on Marion. That should be a fun game over at the Knights house. Still 2:40 to go here in the third quarter. Concord trying to solve this Penn defense, which has them down by 19. Open look, but Ogier couldn't come up with anything there, and Hemmelgarn collects loose change. Applegate in transition. Look at those great hands.
What great hands, but what a great look by Lutz. You know, we talk about these bigs and what Lutz can do to get them the ball. He's the key to this team really succeeding, I believe.
Well, he had 9 assists on Tuesday night in the opener against Clay. We've seen several tonight. And here in transition, Applegate able to put that one in off the glass. Noah with 16 so far tonight.
I think if Lutz can refine that outside game and start knocking down threes and just be on such a consistent pace of knocking down threes, they'd have such a threat out there besides the bigs inside, and teams wouldn't be able to just drop back down in on the bigs. They'd have to be out.
Next week, we'll check out action in the Northern Lakes Conference as the Plymouth Pilgrims, Ryan Bale's team, off to a very solid start. They'll go into the Panther Pit and take on a Northwood team that suffered its first loss of the year last night against Westview. Should be a good one in the NLC. They went overtime last year down at Plymouth. We'll see what happens this year. Plymouth and Northwood next Friday night at 11, Saturday morning at 9 on your home for high school sports, TV 46.
Some drivers think comfort is found in leather seats or dual climate control, but for 40 million American motorists, comfort is knowing they have a State Farm agent who's always there, providing personal service at a competitive rate. So talk to State Farm agent Rachel Wayne in Elkhart. Rachel Wayne wishes all her clients a blessed Christmas and a happy New Year.
Shoemaker, and another turnover for Concord. Luke Carlton comes back into the game for the Kingsmen. He'll take the place of Bo Ludwig. Well, the NIC should have a pretty competitive race this year. We've now seen Elkhart Central and Penn. We'll see Riley and Marion here in the coming weeks. And those would seem to be the top 4 contenders as Lutz finally gets Penn off the schneid from 3-point range.
Yeah, another turnover by Concord again just after that 3. 24-point lead now. Penn's starting to lengthen that lead a little bit more here, even with the guys in foul trouble.
7 points for Lutz tonight and just about as many assists. Schneider now finds Hemmelgarn. Lutz again for 3, this time off the front iron. Ozier gets the rebound. Andreini takes it down the left side. Good feed for Jacob Yoder, but he wasn't expecting the pass. And now I think we've got a moving screen maybe on Jacob Yoder. We do. Threw that hip out there a little bit. It's a fine play in hockey, not so much in basketball. Sure, Cole Hunt's been known to throw a little hip check now.
Oh, yeah. He likes to do a little hip check now and then at ice rink.
Applegate working on Yoder, puts it up and in off the glass. That's another thing that I like about Noah Applegate's game. He is not afraid to use the backboard.
No, that was a nice spin move and really one-hand laid it off the backboard there is a great look. And speaking of a great look.
Oh, Andreini almost got that shot to fall. Waning seconds of period number 3. Schneider on the right-hand dribble. Carlton. Penn very aware of the clock. Applegate. And now Schneider drains it as the period ends. That was just a clinic by Penn on how to use the clock. And quite frankly, after a sluggish first couple minutes of the quarter, it was a clinic in the stanza as well. And the highlight of it came with a little Christmas stocking stuffer courtesy of Noah Applegate as the Kingsmen lead at 54-26 on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you by JV Macri Orthodontics. Trust your smile to an expert. And by the Indiana High School Athletic Association, partnering with TV46 for 27 years. Time now to get another Bills Heating sideline report. Bill Beck, you've seen Penn both of their games so far this year. How impressed are you with the Kingsmen?
I really like what I see here. Follow up on Noah Applegate in the game he plays. Watch him carefully with and without the basketball. He moves so well. He shot that last bank shot with his right hand. He's a lefty. He moves without the basketball. He can finish at the rim like he does. Chuck, you mentioned maybe, his defense, sometimes his ball handling is maybe not as up to snuff. He's got another whole year to get that straightened out. But I love the way he's got that nice 15-foot range jumper. He can step out and burn you with a 3 as well. He's got almost a whole toolkit.
Indeed he does, and it's one of the reasons the Kingsmen are dominating in this one tonight. A strip by Concord there. Ball knocked out of bounds. It'll belong to Penn, but good hustle that time by McDougal and the Minutemen.
Yeah, they got Lutz sitting down and Applegate sitting down right now, getting a breather right here to start the fourth quarter as well.
Let me help you out on one of these here. The teams in this game working towards a great finish, and so is the team from Imagineering Finishing Technologies. As that ball up and in by Keegan Hoskins, who now has 8. Partners with industries including aerospace, automotive, military and defense, medical and precision machining at IFT Quality is a way of life. Ball knocked out of bounds. Big event coming up this week here at Penn, as they will have their annual grudge match in wrestling against Mishawaka. That'll be Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. I understand that Coach Harper is just going to allow everybody to come in for free. No, I don't think so. Maybe not. Maybe not.
It's going to be a packed house. We want this, man. Come on. We got the wrestling match of the week.
30-point lead for the Kingsmen with 7:11 to go. It was nice of Coach Harper to drop by.
Yeah, definitely come by and say hello and see how everything's going. And what a fantastic job he's done here with the wrestling program. Year in and year out, they have state finalists go down there as a team and as individuals.
Ball knocked out of bounds off of Penn. And for Mishawaka, they've got a new coach in wrestling in Steve Sandifer, and he picked up a nice win last night up at Lakeshore, where Bruce Bittenbender has had one of Southwest Michigan's premier programs over the years, but Mishawaka was able to win up there. So that should be an interesting wrestling match on Wednesday night. They tried to go backdoor to Johnson here, and then the ball thrown away by Hoskins.
Head coach Ryan Lightfoot and the Bethel Pilots invite you to join them for a game this season on the campus of Bethel College in Mishawaka. Bring the entire family for a game and enjoy college basketball at its finest. Visit bethelcollege.edu for a complete basketball schedule. The Pilots wishing the teams in this game a great finish.
McDougal's left-hand hook off the mark, but Ludwig got tangled up with Magnuson going up for the rebound, and the ball goes to Concord. Inbounds pass to McDougal. And he got the bucket. Did he get the bump too, or are they going to say the bump was before the shot? If the foul's on Hoskins, he's done for the night, and he is. So Keegan Hoskins will leave with 8 points tonight.
Yeah, see Applegate coming back in after he got his rest. Lutz still sitting on the bench. Not sure if he'll even come back in this game as well.
So Al Rhodes with a supportive arm around his 6'5" junior Keegan Hoskins, who's also a pitcher on Greg Dykes' baseball team. And a 5-second violation.
Defense. There's that defense by Penn. You know, great job of being long and lengthy and having your arms out, taking up space, not giving any openings. No passing lanes.
Schneider outside. It will be interesting when Penn squares off with Riley later this year. Of course, Riley, 2 Division I prospects in Demezy Anderson and Shamar Dillard. They get a big test down state tomorrow. They play in a tournament down at Southport High School as Applegate misses there. Schneider the rebound. But they'll play a team from Pickerington, Ohio. And according to some who are in the scouting business, at this day-long tournament, which also includes Culver Academy tomorrow, there could be 60 college prospects in that tournament.
A lot of college scouts will be there for sure.
That's for sure. And there will be some coming around to look at the guy at the line right now, although Applegate missed that one. But the rebound will send Bo Ludwig back to the stripe.
And a lot of times those scouts come around and they're looking at maybe one basketball player. Next thing you know, they find 2 or 3 in that situation. And they also are able to help out some of those other players and maybe give them some of the things they need to work on and improve on over the summer.
Ludwig rattles out that first free throw attempt of the year as you see Lutz come back in to take the place of Drew Schneider. Hemmelgarn back in the lineup for Penn. And Carter Hickey waiting over at the scores table for his first action of the night. Ludwig denies him that ability by missing the free throw. Did you ever know a guy was coming in and missed the free throw on purpose?
Oh, always. At least that's what the guy coming in thinks every time.
Ball gets deflected out of bounds, and there's the sophomore Carter Hickey coming in. Another member of the baseball team here at Penn, second baseman. McDougal with the inbounds pass. Concord whipping the ball around the perimeter. There's Michael Johnson, who has been their lone offensive weapon tonight, and he tried to convert that, couldn't do it. Rebound, Kane throws it up, no good. And Hemmelgarn was able to knock the ball to Lutz, who's looking in transition again. Dished it off beautifully for Applegate, but he couldn't convert. Hemmelgarn running one-hander is good. He went right up the back and Grant Magnuson.
Yeah, he came right down the lane and used the backboard a little bit. Got a little bucket.
5 minutes left in this one. Magnuson with a spin move on Hemmelgarn. Might have traveled, but they'll give it to him anyway with the left hand.
Yeah, 8 points now for Magnuson.
And Penn will settle it down here in the half court. The Kingsmen are not a bad half-court team as Applegate works over Johnson and he'll go to the line. But they are a much better transition team this year than I can ever remember seeing Penn play.
Yeah, they really want to get up and down the floor. I mean, they got their bigs, but they do a lot better as they're getting up and down the floor with that tempo and getting the numbers and going right at the hoop. And they seem more comfortable doing that too. You know, that they're going to work the half-court shot. That's fine. They got the moves down below as well, so they got that half-court shot. I think what we talked about, though, the biggest thing is in their half-court offense is that three-point shot. Are they going to be able to hit that shot on a consistent basis and keep people from packing it down inside?
Applegate leaves with 20 points, and you get the sense he's done for the night. The 6'6" junior more than likely talking to Bill Beck on the postgame show. Magnuson, like Gulliver with the Lilliputians, couldn't get that first one to go or the second. That's how you get offensive rebound stats.
He's just working his stats. And a baby Magnuson, 10 points on the night, couple more offensive rebounds.
He might have a double-double tonight. He's got the 10 points. Schneider to Lutz for three. At that time, Michael Johnson a rebound. I think that's one thing teams will start really doing against Penn is packing in that zone and trying to force them to hoist more three-pointers. McDougal happy to put that one up for his first three of the night. The 6'1" junior had hit 5 earlier in the season. Lutz gets hammered by Kane coming in. Well, we're just talking about the fast breaks, Bo, and certainly the transition game has been stellar for the Kingsmen tonight. What has made it so effective?
A lot of it's from their defense, and that's how it's set up. Getting the ball out quick, looking up the floor. You can see every time their heads up. As soon as they get that rebound, they turn, their heads up, they're looking down the floor, looking to get that ball outlet or up the floor to whoever's open so they can take it right to the hoop with the numbers.
The other thing is their bigs run the floor well.
Yep. Yeah, every single guy in their starting lineup and a couple off the bench run it just like a point guard or a forward or a shooting guard would in a typical offense. They're going to fly up the floor. There's no slow guys, and as soon as that ball is rebounded or the ball's made, they're up the floor.
So apparently a technical foul has been called on Concord. I don't know whether it was on Steve Austin or one of his players, but Drew Lutz will be at the foul line here, and that's why they blew the whistle as he was taking the free throw, because they wanted everybody out of there, and of course this messes him up severely.
Well, Arby's on Bittersweet fed our crew tonight again, and we'd like to thank them as well. Arby's on Bittersweets invite you to come in and taste it for yourself. That's Arby's on Bittersweet.
So 1 of 2 in that trip to the stripe for Lutz. He now has 8. You see Bo Ludwig come in. He'll take the place of Lutz, and I think Drew might be done for the night as well. Penn is scheduled to play Crown Point tomorrow night. That depends on whether the meteorologists are accurate or not.
Yeah, that snow weather advisory already. There's some wrestling that's already canceled for tomorrow. Of course, they got to leave early in the morning for those wrestling matches. You know, being tomorrow night, we could get some lake effect snow, and of course, Crown Point and South Bend area are the areas where that lake effect hits.
So we've got another foul called here against Concord. This one will be on Ethan Kane.
Imaginary Finishing Technologies is an Indiana company that impacts industries worldwide. Over half a century of quality and excellence has made us the industry knowledge source. We support the efforts of the young people in this game. We're working toward the same goal, that is a great finish.
Kane fouls out. He had 5 points tonight. And Penn continuing to do damage at the foul line, this time in the person of Bo Ludwig.
Bill Beck down the sideline informed us from Bill's heating that that last foul that we thought was a technical was actually an intentional foul, is what they called on that. And that's why there was some free throws. With an intentional foul, you're going to get the free throws and the ball.
McDougal could not finish at the hoop, and the rebound comes to Penn. Carter Hickey handling the ball up top. Now Schneider goes down low to Hemmelgarn. Hemmelgarn trying to work on Magnuson.
Penn really working their half-court offense, getting some passes in.
Ball was outside in the hands of Hickey. He goes down low to Hemmelgarn, who got the hoop and the harm. Jeffrey Hemmelgarn, the sophomore, now with 6, and he'll get a chance to add to it.
You talked about textbook right before the end of the first half about how they wasted the time and made that last shot. Again, right there, almost textbook. Work the ball around, get to that shot, that good shot in the paint, and they got it. They not only got the bucket, but they got the foul as well.
Wholesale substitution for Concord. They'll get their starters out, put some of the bench guys in, and we've got a push-off foul this time called against Penn. This one will be on Luke Carlton. So Concord will come to the other end and shoot free throws with 2:25 to go in this one. The road does not get any easier for the Concord Minutemen, as they have a date with South Bend Riley on the schedule next week.
Again, a lot of teams in the area with some young talent, though, and some young groups, coaches trying to build up some younger teams. You got 2 here. Of course, Penn, their guys started last year as mostly as sophomores, and so now this is their second year playing. Concord, on the other hand, this is their first year. These juniors are really starting. Another team, Westview, in the area, a lot of juniors on that team. We saw those guys as freshmen and then again as sophomores last year, and they've slowly progressed and gotten to the point where they're one of the top quality teams in the area.
Osier's free throws were sponsored by the Edward Jones Elkhart Area Advisors. Penn up by 30. Ludwig into the lane. Hemmelgarn trying to post up down there. He's got Yoder on his back. Hemmelgarn just takes that big body into the paint but couldn't finish. And then I think they might have got him for over the back after the miss.
Yeah, they sure did.
So we'll slowly walk down to the other end for free throws.
Concord trying to make that miraculous comeback here, down by 30.
Jacob Yoder will go to the line. Jacob, a 3-sport athlete at Concord, football and track. 3.7 grade point average. He's a member of the National Honor Society at Concord, and he hits that free throw for his 2nd point of the night. Well-rounded young man. He participates in orchestra and jazz band and also in 4-H.
A lot of activities nowadays for the kids to enjoy and try out for if they want to, and besides just sports as well. And it's good to see athletes not only do a sport but do other activities as well and get involved in the community and their school.
I think it's great that he's willing to sample all those different activities. And if you can balance out your schedule, man, high school can be a lot of fun.
It sure can. As long as you keep those grades up and you have a goal in life to go to college or do something afterwards, and you're able to do all those activities as well.
Bumping foul on Carter Neveraski, another one of the 3-sport athletes at Concord. So the Kingsmen go back to the foul line for more free throws. Luke Carlton will hit that one. Both of Luke's sisters played college basketball. His dad, a former Penn quarterback when they had leather helmets.
They might be going back to those leather helmets here
They
shortly.
should. Too many.
You look at all the equipment, they're like, oh, let's upgrade this, let's upgrade that. You know, if they took a lot of that equipment away, they're not going to be using that head anymore.
Too many guys think the helmet is supposed to be a weapon.
Yep.
Ozier with the left hand underneath can't go, and Hemmelgarn with another rebound. Hickey, oh, he wanted to launch that three, but instead he traveled.
Yeah, it looked like he traveled and then traveled again right before he passed.
So Penn's going to go to 2-0 on the year. Concord will drop to 1-3 on the season. And we will see if we get another game with the Kingsmen later in the year, perhaps against a team like Elkhart Central in February.
Yeah. We'll see how they've progressed at that time and see where they stand. But they got a little fine-tuning. I'm sure Al's going to find quite a few things wrong with the performance tonight, as he always does, and they'll work on it. And
that's what good coaches do.
Oh, you got to. You got to go in the locker room after this game. They're up by 30 and not be happy, you know?
So the Kingsmen try to kill off the last 45 seconds of this one.
Sure, Bill's getting ready to do his Bill's Heating sideline report here shortly with Noah Applegate.
We'll have our IU South Bend fulfilling the promise player of the game. That'll be Noah Applegate. He may have a hand in our electrical workers electrifying play of the game. And of course, we'll have our Indiana Criminal Justice Institute Whoa stop of the game coming up as well. An impressive performance by the Penn Kingsmen tonight in the 80th renewal of this rivalry that dates back to 1958. Andreini with the steal, and he drew the contact there. And so the young man from Milan, Italy, up in the northern part of that country, will get a chance to get his name in the scorebook tonight with some points. Andreini had 10 in the season opener against Prairie Heights. He's considered a playmaker over in Italy. Did lead the team with 12 assists coming into this one. Free throw sponsored by your Edward Jones Elkhart Area Advisors, and Gabe Andreini on the scorebook tonight. Let's get another look at our Bethel College replay on the foul. The young man couldn't get the second one to drop, and that's how this one will end, with the Penn Kingsmen beating the Concord Minutemen 66-37. Post-game coverage after this on 46.
Watching the WHME TV 46 High School Game of the Week, brought to you by
Plenty to celebrate here at the Palace tonight for the Penn Kingsmen cheerleaders as they watch their varsity basketball team beat Concord tonight by a count of 66-37. Chuck Freeby and Bo Hunt back with you as we begin our post-game coverage. And Bo, the Penn Kingsmen now 2-0 on the year. And really, Al Rhodes, I know he likes this team, and I can see why he likes this team.
Yeah, it's a team. You talk about that. They have a superstar, Noah Applegate, but they got some really good players around him that can surround him and take the pressure off of him as well. And we can see what his has is the attributes and everything, but Al Rhodes has got these guys playing as a team.
And one of the cogs of this team is our IU South Bend fulfilling the promise player of the game, and he's standing by now with Bill Beck.
And thanks, Chuck, here with Noah Applegate. 20 points tonight as Penn goes to 2-0, a big win over Concord. Noah, I know it's early in the season, you've only got a couple games, but it seems like you and your bigs have already developed a pretty good rhythm already.
Yeah, I would say that our entire team has made a pretty good rhythm. We seem to find each other well in transition, and we seem to just look for each other and find the open man.
I know you can't change the schedule, but you're going to have a lot of games over the next 10, 11, 12 days. How do you guys kind of keep yourself level with such a quick schedule?
Well, we rested a lot today. A lot of people rested a lot, and just easy practices, just walkthroughs and things like that.
How many times a week do you practice that alley-oop dunk with Lutz?
We actually do that quite a lot in the summer, so it doesn't take a lot of practice. It's just in the moment. So,
what do you like most about the way your game has developed since last season?
Honestly, I think everything's just opened up for me a lot more. Everything's slowed down. I'm a lot more confident with my shots, and I think that everything I put up is going to go in.
Noah Applegate, our player of the game, Chuck.
All right, thanks a lot, Bill. Congratulations to Noah on that 20-point effort. And he also had a key hand in our electrifying play of the game brought to us by the electrical workers of Local 153. But you rave about the pass on this.
Yeah, it was such a great pass on this. He led him perfectly, let it up. He was able to go up, get the ball, both hands, get control of it. Lutz, great assist, many assists tonight by Lutz as well.
So Lutz and Applegate combined for the electrical workers electrifying play of the game. And it was another dunk that will be part of our whoa stop of the game. But of course, the dunk isn't the stop. It's what led to the dunk and the defense for Penn creating transition.
They did a great job tonight with their length and really getting in space and knocking the ball away and doing some things here. You can see some great job by Schneider there, getting the ball, and another great pass here inside. Applegate taking it to the hoop.
So that's sponsored by the Indiana Criminal Justice Institute, who reminds you, whoa, don't text and drive. So the Kingsmen win it 66-37. They roll on to play Crown Point. At least that's what's scheduled for Saturday. Concord, there is no rest for the wicked. They have to turn around and play South Bend Riley next week. Our thanks to our outstanding TV 46 crew. I wish you could see them in action before the game. They did a marvelous setup tonight in a very brief amount of time, and they were led by Joe Fertina and the director's chair, but everybody working so hard to make sure that this one could be brought your way tonight. And don't forget, all through the week on social media, the 46 Sports team is very active, keeping you up to date on not only high school basketball, both boys and girls, but all the other high school sports as well. And that's where we use our 46 Sports Facebook page, as well as our 46 Sports Twitter page, to keep you up to date on all the happenings around Michiana on the high school sports scene. Now, for my broadcast partners, they're both Hall of Famers, you know, Bo Hunt and Bill Beck. This is Chuck Freeby reminding you the final score. Penn prevails over Concord by the count of 66-37. So long from the beautiful Princess City.